I believe that power in our society flows from people up to the government, not the other way around. Justices are to be servants of the people. Justices are to respect the laws that are passed by the people. Justices are to respect the Constitution. That is our core document. When activist judges step out of that role, they steal power from the people. They centralize too much power in the court system. That jeopardizes our three branches of government. It compromises the checks and balances that we have in place. Judicial conservatism is the belief that judges should apply and interpret laws, not make them. That is how the people are best served. The power to make law rests with the legislature, not with the courts. When activist judges legislate from the bench, they usurp the power of the legislature. They, in effect, steal power from the people because they're overriding the people's majority will as reflected by the legislative process. So political conservatism is different from judicial conservatism. I am a judicial conservative. I pledge to apply the law the way it's written. I pledge to apply the Constitution the way that it is written. I will not allow any type of personal political beliefs to interfere with my judicial decision-making. That's the core of judicial conservatism, standing with the Constitution and the statutes the way they are written. The activist justices tend to view the Constitution as a living, breathing document which evolves over time. Strict constructionists don't have that same view. Well, that's part of the judicial conservative viewpoint. It's part of the analytical framework that you apply when you're analyzing a case. When you are a strict constructionist, you look for the plain meaning of the text first. You don't read things into the Constitution that are not there, and you don't ignore things that are there. You strictly construe the text the way it's written. People should be concerned about how the judges will treat the citizens of the state of Wisconsin. My primary concern is that the citizens have trust in their court system. I don't think that people want judges who are going to play along with lawyers to help things turn out in a way that benefits the lawyers. I also think it's important to consider the effect of the decisions that the justice has made in civil cases. In the lead paint case, for example, Justice Abrahamson and three other justices basically gave a gift to the plaintiff's lawyers by overturning decades of precedent and holding that if the plaintiff couldn't prove which company made the paint in question, the plaintiff can sue the entire lead paint industry. So many innocent business owners in that situation could be subject to requirement that they pay a judgment even though they had done nothing wrong. These types of decisions create an unstable legal environment, an unstable economic environment. It drives businesses from Wisconsin. It can contribute to the high unemployment rate. And these are the types of decisions that people ought to pay attention to. One final decision I would suggest that the folks consider is the medical malpractice caps case. The legislature put a cap on medical malpractice pain and suffering awards to keep good doctors in Wisconsin, to keep these huge verdicts under control, to keep health care available to everybody around the state. If the Wisconsin Supreme Court continues to engage in judicial activism and open up the floodgates to all these lawsuits against business owners, we're going to have to find a way to deal with the litigation explosion. And so we will need to consider the impact of activism on that. The last thing we need to encourage in our society is more litigation. And when the Supreme Court reinterprets the Constitution in a different way every couple of months, you create uncertainty in the court system. There's a lack of predictability, a lack of consistency. Parties to contractual agreements won't know whether their rights will be protected because the law may well change between the time they reach the agreement and the time they get to court. Well, I think that government always needs to be looking at how they can improve the efficiency of their operations and improve the quality of the product that they deliver to the general public. As the presiding judge for Jefferson County, I, in the past 2 years, have redesigned our court system. I reduced the cost to taxpayers by making some personnel changes. I improved our performance from number 18 in the state to number 2 in the state in the manner in which we process cases. I put an emphasis on expediting repeat drunken driving cases. Most of these defendants are released on bond when they're charged, which is the way it should be because they're presumed innocent under the Constitution. But backlogs compromise public safety because the fact of the matter is many repeat drunken drivers continue to drink and drive when they're out on bond. And so I have significantly reduced in Jefferson County the length of time it takes to get a drunk driving case from first appearance to the end of the case. I would hope to take that to a statewide level. We don't always need more money to do a better job. Justice does need to be blind. It needs to be delivered to people regardless of their race or their creed or their sex or any other type of category like that. The judges that hear these cases and justices on the Supreme Court need to apply the facts of the case to the law of the case. Now, to the extent that there are inequities in the system based on racism or sexism, those do need to be addressed. I think those are more properly addressed by the legislature because they set up the laws under which the courts operated. Courts fundamentally look at one case at a time, and a judicial conservative like myself examines the case before the court and makes a decision in that case based on the law and the facts. Activist judges tend to try to solve all of society's problems by issuing broad, far-reaching policy-type decisions, and that's better placed in the hands of the legislature, where they can pass statutes that address these types of problems. I served on a legislative committee that addressed wrongful convictions in Wisconsin because I believe in the legislative process.